Welcome to another episode of Hack the Body, Hack the Mind. My name's Charlie, and today I'm going to give you 7 things you could be doing to enhance your training during this lockdown period. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm basically going to go day by day, and I'm going to talk about the different ways you can do stuff. So Monday, we're going to go for mobility. On a Monday, I want you guys to start focusing on mobility. And mobility is basically getting greater range of motion with control through different joints in our body, through different movements that we do. So when we squat, for example, our ankles can be the limiting factor. We may have poor ankle mobility. And what's meant by that is our knee doesn't travel that far over our toes. So we can work on mobility by working on movements that's going to increase that range of motion and increase the control and stability in that range of motion as well. There's a little bit about getting more flexible, which necessarily isn't that good when we're lifting weights, as when you're flexible, you may not actually have stability and control in that greater range of motion. Whereas if you're doing mobility work will actually give you stability and control and hopefully increase your range of motion as well. And you can get a bit deeper in squats. So the second one we're going to go for is Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about tempo. Tempo is a great way to actually enhance your training. And it's something that I do in training even when I'm in the gym. I program for 3 numbers when we do tempo. Basically what that means is the first number is always going to be the negative portion of the rep. So the negative portion of the rep, or the lowering phase of a rep. So for example, when I'm doing Bulgarian split squats, which is something I program for people during lockdown because it's our body weight and it's quite a difficult exercise, and we can put quite a lot of load through one leg only with our body weight. So it's quite a good exercise to do. The first number is the lowering portion of the rep. So we're going to basically lower ourselves nice and slowly. So this can be 4 seconds, 6 seconds on the way down. We could put a 1 second pause in and then maybe 2 seconds on the way up. And we control tempo by basically slowing movements down as we do them. If we go fast on things, then things can become quite easy. But if we want to create tension and we want to create some stress through our muscles and through our body, then tempo is a great way to do that. Wednesday, I want to talk about walking, okay? So walking is pretty much the most neglected thing that most of us forget to do and do not do. And it's winter, it's cold, grab yourself a coat, get outside. The best thing you can do is walk. The reason that most people put on weight during the last lockdown was because of a lack of movement and probably over-consuming a little bit on food. So if you're gonna slightly overindulge, maybe think about increasing your step count and do that through walking. Walking is probably the one thing that I advise everyone do, and most people do, even if they are not in lockdown, just normal everyday life. So make sure you walk. We have Monday mobility, Tuesday's tempo, Wednesday's walk, and Thursday, I'm going to talk about time. The time of your workouts can be quite important. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to do a workout at the start of the day, you set yourself up for a good day. You get up early, you do something for you, you get some endorphins flowing, and it can be quite a good time to train. The other times you can train is midday. Now, I actually advise this one for people working from home and currently in this lockdown situation because, well, let's be honest with you, we're going to sit at this desk all day, probably a dining room chair, which is reasonably uncomfortable. We're going to be stuck indoors. We need to get moving a bit. And if you're not going to go for a walk because maybe you don't want to go outside when it's raining, fair enough. What I am going to suggest is you maybe do some working out during your lunchtime. Split up your day a little bit. That will help with productivity. That'll help you feel better. Again, get some endorphins flowing. So that's one I really recommend. And then on the evening, if you don't have any time, please work out on the evening. And please make time to work out, okay? These sessions do not have to be long. If you did 20 minutes of getting your heart rate going, getting your blood flowing a little bit, working out and doing something to actually make you feel better during this time where everything's miserable, it's getting dark outside, it's pretty bleak, weather's pretty crap. You need to do something to keep yourself moving, to keep yourself motivated, to keep yourself happy. And I really recommend creating some time, making some time to be able to actually go and work out. So put some time aside to work out. So Thursday is time. Now Friday, I'm going to be talking about fitness. Work on your fitness during this lockdown. And you can do that with your body weight. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of burpees involved. And unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with when we are doing home workouts. During this lockdown period, we can increase fitness. You can increase fitness by going for runs, by doing home workouts, by increasing your mobility, because fitness is a broad range. It doesn't just mean running. It doesn't just mean your cardiovascular system. It doesn't just mean your strength. Fitness incorporates a large spectrum. And all I'm asking for you guys to do is just to continue to work on your fitness. Don't give up. Don't think about this lockdown period from stopping you from increasing your fitness levels and stopping you from achieving your goals, because it's not. You can still do something, and you can still get out, and you can still get yourself moving, get yourself active. Do not give up. Just think of this as a little bit of a bump in the road. Think of this as a little bit of a hurdle that we have to get over. Jump over the hurdle, keep running, and keep going, guys. Keep working on your fitness, and I promise you, you'll feel better for it when you come back to the gym. So, Saturday. Saturday, I want to talk about stretching. Hands up if you don't stretch enough. Just me? I know you don't stretch enough. No one stretches enough. I definitely don't stretch enough. And what I do recommend is we all start stretching. After a 30-minute stretch, you will feel so much better, especially working from home all the time. Working from home, sat in front of a desk, hunched up, we're gonna get tight, we're gonna start to feel a bit sore, we're not gonna feel that good. I kind of really enjoy stretching when I do it, and I don't do it enough. You can really start to work on your breath while you stretch. You can really start to bring the tempo down, you can bring the atmosphere down, and you can just get to this calm state, this low level. It's quite a nice place to find, it's quite a nice place to be, and that's the one thing that I've enjoyed. Get into this stage of relaxing and just letting my body passively go through these stretches and start to gain ranges of motion. Now, for it to get permanent change, we want to be stretching for a lot longer than we probably think. Multiple times a day, we want to be stretching, or at least multiple times a week on the same body parts for at least 2 minutes, if not more, per body part when we're doing these stretches. Stretching's really good, and it gets neglected quite a lot. It definitely gets neglected if you're just a normal gym goer. I mean, all of these things probably get neglected if you're someone who, like me, works on muscle building and strength. We don't really focus on stretching, we don't focus on mobility, we definitely probably don't focus on tempo because everyone's trying to lift the most weight we possibly can. We probably don't focus on our fitness enough. So for those who do like muscle building and trying to gain strength, these things are not going to hinder you. If anything, they're going to make it a lot better for when you do go back to the gyms. And the last one, Sunday, I'm going to talk about sleep. Sleep is very important, and we can probably get a lot more of it than we have done in the past. Me, for example, I get up at 4:30 every day. I probably don't go to bed till around 10, half 10, which means that if I'm going to bed about half 10 and I'm actually going to sleep at that time, which is very doubtful, then I'm getting around 6 hours sleep. 6 hours for me is probably on the limit of being actually able to function the next day. I want to be pushing towards 7 for me to get the best amount of sleep. I can cope on 6.5 and I can be quite productive on 6.5, but I need to get some good sleep. And getting good sleep is quite difficult when we are constantly in front of these things and constantly in front of phones, constantly in front of screens. If we are constantly in front of screens, that's fine. All I want you to do is create some kind of sleep routine. So on an evening, you maybe shut screens off an hour before you go to bed. If you have blue blocking glasses like I do, then put them on. If you start to read a book, go by quite low light. If you can get some Himalayan salt lamps, they're really good because the orange glow that they give off is quite a nice glow, and to read next to that, you get quite sleep, probably will get a lot better sleep if you work out in the day, if you create a sleep routine. So the hour up to it, don't just think you're gonna turn your phone off and go to sleep. Every morning, most people of us have some kind of routine, whether it's get up, shower, brush our teeth, go to the gym, have a coffee, read the news. Most of us have a normal morning routine. Let's create a nighttime routine. Just as a recap, guys. Monday, mobility. Tuesday, we're going to do tempo. Wednesday, walk-in. Thursday is time. Pick the time you want to train. Friday is fitness. Work on your fitness during this time. You can run, you can do at-home HIIT workouts. Work on your fitness. Saturday, I want to be talking about stretching, and on Sundays, I want to be talking about sleep. Focus on those things, guys. Remember, those are the different ways that you can help yourself, improve yourself, and progress during this lockdown.